Hello everyone and welcome back to Brink of Speed. I now own a Transformer hardtop convertible C8 Corvette. But is it worth the extra $7,500? Let's find out. As you see, I've got my brand new 2023 ceramic matrix gray convertible C8 here in the garage next to my 2020. We're about to go for a ride and talk about whether the convertible top is worth $7,500 or not. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so as you can see, I'm in my brand new 2023 convertible C8, and it is a hardtop convertible, which is what they all are. But for those of you who are new and did not know that the new C8 Corvette, the 8th generation Corvette, came with a hardtop convertible when you ordered a convertible, it certainly does. Now, real quick, thank you to my thumbs up squad for already smashing that thumbs up button. I hugely appreciate it. You guys are absolutely incredible. If you're brand new to the channel, welcome. I love having new people on the channel, and I'd love to have you join by smashing that red subscribe button and the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. All right, let's get into it. First of all, let me go over some figures for each and every one of you who do not maybe know the cost, the weight, all of those facts and figures for you of the new hardtop convertible C8. First of all, it's gonna run you $7,500 more than the Coupe. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, it adds about 82 pounds to the weight, which is a measly amount of added weight in my opinion. If it added a few hundred pounds, that would be an issue, but it's only adding 82 pounds. So to me, that's not that big of a deal. Now, when you put the top up and down, it only takes 16 seconds for that top to fully remove itself and put itself back up or on. That's pretty impressive. And now I wouldn't recommend this, but you can take the top off and put it back on at 30 miles an hour or less. So those are the facts and figures that I wanted to go over with you real quick. Now let's jump into my thoughts about the new convertible and let you know exactly what I think about owning this new convertible coming from a Coupe. So ladies and gentlemen, just on looks alone, just going off of that all by itself, I think the hardtop convertible is in a totally different category than the Coupe. To take it a step further, I think it puts it in a completely different category than even most supercars out there. Because most of the mid-engine supercars out there have convertible tops, but most of them are not hardtop convertibles. And just because of that fact alone, I believe that, like I said, this sets this apart because it is a hardtop. It does look so much more exotic. To me, it actually looks more exotic with the top up just because of the way that I've done the nacelles and the top all in carbon flash than it even does with the top down. But some would argue the opposite of that. Some would say it looks better with the top down than with the top up. And I mean, the Coupe to me doesn't look exotic at all. It looks supercar-ish, but not exotic. Now, number two is the convenience factor of this car. A couple of reasons why it's really convenient. Number one, whenever you want to lift this top, you don't have to stop, get out, undo clamps, take it off, open the trunk, and put it in the trunk. It all is done for you, obviously, with the touch of one button. Number two, you can stow away things in the rear trunk even with the top down, and you don't lose any space at all. Whereas with the Coupe, as soon as you take the top off and you put it in the trunk, you lose all of that space and really have almost no space back there to put anything. So this being a hardtop convertible instead of a soft top convertible changes everything for me, at least. It actually had me take a second look at actually getting a convertible Corvette. And Now I own one. So if that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what would. But it really changed my mind about owning one of these convertibles and going ahead and paying the $7,500 extra that you have to own this car. Like I said, it saves trunk space in the rear. I've already talked about that, but that is a big reason for someone to want this if they love taking their top down, but they also want to travel and do some long distance drives in this car. Obviously, they're going to have to carry luggage, and you're not going to get most of that luggage in the front. You're going to get most of it in the rear trunk. Now, here's something that I've noticed after 337 miles on this car. There is less engine noise than you hear out of the Coupe because of the fact that it is covered up with a couple of different covers. You've got the main cover when you open up the back here. It's just that composite material that's covering the whole entire engine. And then you have the actual body cover that goes over that covers the engine. So you do have less engine noise, and I did notice that if I roll this back window down like that, you can hear more exhaust and almost no engine noise with that rear window down. So that's really cool. I really like that, and I think you guys are gonna like that as well. This one's gonna make a lot of people happy. You never have to clean the engine bay again. I mean, I know so many people out there that love the convertible for what it is, but they also love it because of the fact that when they wash their car, they don't have to open up the rear hatch and do anything inside the engine. There is no rear hatch. I mean, it's a smart thing to go ahead and raise that top up and get the water out of there, but it's not around an engine. It's just a flat surface. It's a composite surface, so it's a much easier surface to dry and keep clean. Hear that exhaust? It sounds so good with that rear window down. I love it. Now, as far as the difference in sounds inside the cockpit here, it definitely is different. I wouldn't say it's any louder. For the most part, it basically sounds the same. You might hear a few different noises inside this cockpit than you do in the Coupe, but I would really have to do a bunch of driving in the Coupe, then jump in here, then jump back in there, then jump back in here to really be able to tell a big difference. I mean, you hear about the same road noise, you hear about the same wind noise. It's a pretty quiet cockpit. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's now discuss what my thoughts are on the $7,500 that you're having to pay for this convertible. So, ladies and gentlemen, just stating the obvious when it comes to whether you should or shouldn't buy this convertible top. Besides the fact, if you don't like convertibles, then obviously you don't want a convertible. So that's the obvious. But other than that, to me, it's a yes when you ask if it's worth it. Even though you guys are going to say, holy cow, Mike Brink changed his mind about convertibles. Not really. I mean, you guys know I bought this for one reason and one reason only, because I truly wanted to bring you guys content with a C8 that I owned, not someone else's C8, that was completely different than the one that I currently own. And that's why I bought this. 99% of this C8 is different. The only thing that it shares with my current 2020 is a front end lift. That's the only thing it shares. So I have to be non-biased when doing this review. And so my answer is yes. Is it worth the $7,500? Because of a few reasons. Number one, looks. If you fall in love like I've fallen in love with the look of this car, I mean, it's so much prettier in my opinion than the Coupe. It's so much more exotic looking than the Coupe. So that alone, all by itself, not to mention the convenience, not to mention if you already love convertibles, then you're really gonna love this convertible. If you're gonna use the top really often, if you're the type that takes the top down in the summer all the time, obviously it's a no-brainer and it's worth $7,500. And then last but not least, if you have that type of disposable income where $7,500 does not mean anything extra in your, like, it's not going to change your world to put another $7,500 into your car, then go for it. Trust me, you're gonna love it. Even if you're not a huge lover of convertibles, you're still gonna love this car. Now, let's go to the no's. Like, you know, those of you who may not be able to afford the $7,500 and you'd have to save for another 6 months to maybe even a year longer before you could afford this convertible. Is it worth waiting for? I would say if you absolutely do not care that you're having to wait, sure. But as I've stated multiple times on this channel, life is short. We are not promised tomorrow. So the sooner you can get yourself the car of your dreams, which to many people, that's what this is, get it. And if you have to get a coupe because you can't afford an extra $7,500, get it. Do not wait. Another reason not to maybe spend the $7,500 that I know a lot of you out there constantly put in the comments is you could take that $7,500 and spend it on a bunch of other things for a coupe. And I agree with that. You definitely can. So that's another, you know, con of spending the $7,500 on one thing that maybe you really don't need. There's a huge amount of followers out there that go for both, but there's a lot of you that say they really love showing their engine off. And if you weren't able to show your engine off, you would be disappointed in the car. And so that's another reason not to get or not to spend the $7,500 extra on the convertible top, because you can't show your engine off anymore, with the exception of buying the clear engine cover. Now, I know there's one more thing that you guys are gonna wanna know about, and that is the sound on the inside of the cockpit when you have the top down compared to the sound on the inside of the cockpit when you have the targa top off with a coupe. Are they different? Now, some will say that because you have this little rear window and there is nothing blocking besides that, and then you've got the nacelles on either side, that it's a little quieter. To me, once you get up to a certain speed, it's all the same. I mean, it just sounds like a lot of wind noise. You can always roll the windows up a little bit to help with that wind noise so that if you do have a passenger, you guys can talk. But really, for the most part, it's pretty identical to a coupe with the targa top off. I wouldn't use that as a reason of why or why not to get a convertible over a coupe or vice versa. So as you can see, there are many pros while there are also cons to spending the extra $7,500 on this convertible. So it's really something that you have to weigh your own pros and cons. Take what Benjamin Franklin used to do and do the exact same thing. On one side of the paper, he put pros. On the other side, he put cons. Write them all down. Whichever has the most on, say, the left side is cons, the right side is pros. If there's more cons than pros, then you have your answer. Vice versa, you have your answer. But again, I truly believe that if money is not an issue and you feel like you just love the look of the convertible like I do, and you're not like overwhelmingly convinced you have to show your engine off, get it. It's a no-brainer. So ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this will help you make your decision between the convertible and the coupe. If you enjoyed it, give me a big thumbs up. If you don't want to miss a single one of these 2023 C8 Corvette videos, make sure to smash that red subscribe button and the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. I hope each and every one of you has a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys out on the road.